Let's stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call this meeting to order. Special trustee meeting. Have a roll call.
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Mr. Brucker?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes. All right, we're here today to discuss the quote from Alpha Construction. You want to start it, Jeff? Who, or Tom, who's?
Well, we have a proposal.
Where did the proposal come from? I got it on Monday after our meeting, and then I sent it to everybody. Did we request this, or did he send this to us?
No, we did not request it, and then it just showed up. And to make a decision, we needed to have this special meeting to see if we wanted to do this or to not do this. So that's pretty much the sum total of it. It's the quote is $7,902 to do that. If it is a benefit to the township or based on the park, we do have an opportunity for a grant that comes from Butler County that for $5,000 that would support this if we wanted to do it. Currently, we could spend the money on benches. We spend the money on the pickleball court. I know there was some early interest, and somebody had brought it up at some point in time. There is an opportunity to use it as kind of an athletic venue where you could do pickleball, you could have a basketball court incorporated onto it. You could do a lot of things with it. So really we wanted to throw it out there to see if there was any interest as far as the trustees were concerned or not. I think we're all undecided on this. There's no real need to do it other than if it is a benefit to the township. If there are people who like to do it, I know there's in other townships, it seems like it's a wave that some townships are embracing this and enjoying it, and some of the people who want to be out and doing something in the park, they would have an opportunity to try it out, to see if it is something that they even like to do. It's kind of, not many people know what pickleball is, other than what you might have seen on TV or some ads that pop up on an Internet Explorer. It's basically a small, scaled-down version of tennis. Do we have a pickleball person in the room by chance?
I'll just run it to back up a second.
Can you come to the mic and state your name and address? Make sure the mic's on, Rob, can you? Hang on one second, make sure the...
Thank you. My name is Mark Schwetman. I live at 2371 Southwind Road in Okeana.
Okay.
If we could back up a second, what was the quote for?
It was to construct.
Was it for the park itself, for the pathways, or was that
No,
for the
no.
pickleball?
This is outside of the park, the pathway, the playground. This is totally in addition to anything that we've already begun construction on.
Okay. Was this just for the pickleball though? Is this
Yes, sir.
the quote for?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it was how much?
$7,902.
Okay. That seems kind of cheap for a pickleball court, from what
Well,
I understand.
I think what this looks like is it's the paving, the excavation, and the layout. So this probably
That's
would
not
not.
total cost.
This would not include the net.
Okay.
And then I imagine there would be some kind of striping that would go onto the court.
Yeah, because what I understand, average pickleball courts anywhere between $35,000 and $60,000.
Oh,
Wow.
Well, this,
that's
like
probably lighted and fenced, and don't you think?
Well, that's just from what I understand. It's a poured court
Yeah.
but then they have to put a coating on it, special paint with
Right.
the lines.
That's
And
why I
that
was-
has to be maintained every 4 to 6 years,
That's what I was getting at.
and that's
'cause
$12,000 to $14,000 each time.
I know that usually a real pickleball court has that kind of a
Right.
surface.
Right.
Obviously, this would not be the
That's
top
what I'm
line
saying. It
pickleball
seemed
court.
kind of cheap. I was just checking, so.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I think the last question, did somebody have a question about if this, oh, Mark, I guess you asked if this was incorporated into the construction.
Yes.
So it sounds like, it looks like there's some interest in talking about this morning. So if we have any comment about this, if, like I said, if there is money involved, Sandra, did you want to bring something up?
Yeah, sure. So yesterday I went to
You want
Liberty.
a lapel mic so you
Yeah.
can talk?
I will. So there's pickleball. Sorry,
What's
it's
this
not-
in?
That's a pickleball court.
Where's this at?
It's in Liberty,
Oh,
Indiana.
okay, it's not around here, okay.
And there's a prairie in progress to show you what that looks like.
Thought this
Sorry
was
for the
the-
print quality. Okay.
Were you trying to show the contrast or
Yeah, just to show what a prairie looks like
what
in
it was?
progress.
Uh-huh.
Because they've been working on it for about a year. Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Can anybody hear
Yeah.
me? Okay.
What's this?
This is the. I don't
So,
see any
to anybody
pavement.
that doesn't know me, I'm Sandy Tyler. I'm part of the Morgan Township Park Advisory Board. And I'm not against a pickleball court, but I do have concerns. The biggest one is it's not in any of the plans for the park, which Connie has over there. And there's only one flat area, which is already designated for the helipad and the playground. And that's our former plan, and then the RVP one is on the other board. With the first park plan, which did have athletic fields on it, which we could quickly, said weren't needed, because there are already some in the township that aren't being used, and it's extra maintenance cost. And yeah, there's only one really flat space on this property. The rest is all at an incline. And other concerns are, first of all, who's paying for it? And apparently it makes a lot of noise. Like, there are a lot of lawsuits about pickleball courts making way too much noise, especially at nighttime. And with it being near a fire department, I'd be concerned about them being able to sleep and just get the rest and mental rest that they can, because they definitely have a really difficult job. So yeah, that's my concerns. And also, I didn't notice any silt fencing back there the other day, and I guess that's something that's needed in a construction zone. So I don't know if Alpha or somebody can answer for that, but yeah, where's the dirt gonna go when it rains? So. Yep, there's drainage issues for sure. And I've been working with Brady with Butler County Soil and Water District about drainage, but like pickleball would be an additional drainage issue too, that's not in any plan. So yeah, that's what I've got.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And if you need any pictures or anything, I can email those to you.
Okay. Thanks, Sandy.
Any other discussions?
Nick Zankert, 7171 Hamilton Scipio Road. So if, I'm a little confused, if the only flat spots on the property are already designated for a playground and a helipad, where are we putting this pickleball court?
It would have to be graded. It looks like,
Well,
it looks like it's 44 by 20 foot.
well, to me, to get an accurate quote, depending on the slope of the ground, you need to know exactly where you're putting it, so somebody can say, hey, this is how much dirt we gotta move, materials gotta go around, so we just got a random quote in the middle of thin air for, we don't even know where
I don't
it's
know.
going.
I don't know where the quote
Well-
was generated, but it doesn't even say on the quote it's for pickleball. It was in the heading of the subject matter of the email.
So if there's so much confusion, where did this come from? If it's not in the original park plans, we just get a magical quote from,
I don't know if this, I was hoping he'd be here today. If since he's got his equipment out here, he was just throwing it out there to say, hey, if you want a pickleball court, maybe it was mentioned, he heard it, and I don't know.
okay. it
You
did
really
say
weren't
that-
going to decide today, Nick. It's just
Well,
you-
the whole thing just is very confusing to me. Why are we having the conversation if nobody asked for it? If this guy's just proposing it, or if one
Yeah,
of
he-
you guys asked for it, where did this come from?
We think he
That's
threw
what-
it out there to see if we would be interested. Like you said, since he's already got his equipment here, if the community would be interested, he just knows it's a popular thing right now. And
Okay.
if we want to take advantage of the times, and then we could discuss, like you said, even where to put it. This is just a random, this isn't an exact quote, I wouldn't think. And like you said, we were hoping he would come in today, and we weren't gonna make a decision. Otherwise, we'd bring it to the general meeting probably anyway. so.
Like I said, it just seemed like there's so much confusion on this. I was hoping to get a little clarity so we could actually
is.
have a real discussion on it. But, okay. that's all I
Yeah.
have.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was kind of the hope here, was if there was interest, express it, then we can dig deeper into this quote to see, what it all includes. I mean, it's very generic. It just says strip topsoil, build pad for 44 by 20 by 3-inch thick asphalt. Striping is by others, can price once we have the layout. And there's a price in here for layout of $450. So I would imagine that would be somebody else. So I think it was just thrown out there to, hey, if you want to do it, talk about it now. If not, and it's, like I said, no decision was going to be made. It was more of an information just to discuss this, just to see if we want to pursue it. And like I said, I was hoping he'd be here that he could add more information, but I don't know if he got tied up or if it's not, didn't get the email or what, but so morning, Carol.
Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Darrell.
Good morning.
Carol Thacker, 2655 Chapel Road, Okeana. I think we need more specifications of what this bid covers. Like everybody says, it wasn't in the original plans. Where did this come from out of the blue? You can't really decide what it's going to cost. And why can't we do a survey? We did a monkey survey, didn't we do surveys to get what we got so far? Why don't we do a survey?
We did originally, and pickleball was, I got an email from Mike Riesenberg, who was on the park planning board, and he said there was a few that showed an interest in pickleball, but it was nowhere near at the top of the priorities that people, selected, so,
Try it again and see what kind of answer we get
yeah.
before we make
And
any
the
decision
only-
about any more money.
The only bad thing about having one pickleball court, because most places that have pickleball courts have multiple ones, there's going to be a scheduling problem. It's going to be, you were on there for 30 minutes. Who's going to manage scheduling? There's a lot more than just putting a pickleball court in, because one, we talked about maintenance, but there's going to be scheduling, because if it does take off, one court is not going to be sufficient. No way. And
we
then
don't
there's
wanna
going to
use
be a
any
fight
more.
that,
Yeah.
I had this scheduled at 10 o'clock, it's 10:10 and you're still playing. Well, we're not finished with our game. It's going to be like a pool table in a bar. You're going to have to put your quarter up on the rail and hope that you get the next shot. And I don't know that we have the the manpower to manage that. I could just see them coming to the firehouse or over here to the admin building to Tina or Amy and saying, hey, I can't get on my pickleball court, somebody's on there. It's not something that, so I think it would have to be more than one if we did it. But again, that's why I just wanted to have a discussion to see, is it worth pursuing or not? So,
If I could go ahead and jump in here, setting the pickleball court aside for a moment, our grant for Butler County is due by the end of May 31st, being submitted. So I would recommend, originally we were talking about benches for the park. Let's go ahead and that $5,000 could be spent where we need. I think benches would make the most sense for the park. So let's go ahead and submit that grant, because
Okay.
we'll be running out of time if I don't get it
But-
in today.
yeah.
Yeah,
But go ahead and do that grant for the benches, whatever we can buy for $5,000. But, so I think we've actually already discussed that. We've already planned on going ahead with something along those lines. Let's just firm that up today. The other thing was on that, and this probably Rob is probably the guy that probably needs to be part of this. Rob and I were out with the Duke gentleman looking at that telephone pole on that south side of the trail. And we've got that telephone pole with the guy wire coming down. Did you see that, Sandra, by chance? Did you see? Okay. So what Duke is saying is that if they can't relocate that guy wire sufficient to get that trail under or through, or run that trail beneath the guy wire. So they're saying that the only way that we can do it is if we stub out another phone pole into the yard and brace the existing electric line, another electric pole, to stub out and support the existing telephone pole that's there. And they said that is probably going to cost $5,000, $6,000, or $7,000 to do that. So I said, basically, what are the options that we can do? They said, well, and in consultation with Alpha Construction, the gentlemen who are grading out there, he and I had also had this discussion when we first saw this problem. He said, I can easily jog that trail around that guy wire, which will have no impact. We don't have to move anything. But on behalf of, public discussion and since we're doing this and it looks like grading is accelerating a little bit. I know they were up here yesterday doing some more grading. So we'll have to let them know once they get to that pole, they're going to have to know which way to go. So my recommendation would be to jog around the existing guy wire to accommodate the trail as most aesthetically pleasing as we can. So that's the motion right now. I know it's been something we're going to have to negotiate or deal with. So I'd like to see the pleasure of the trustees on what to do with that.
Didn't they give us a price on just moving the guide line?
Well, they can't move it far enough. Duke
They did
has.
it first, didn't they?
Yeah, well, they have specifications on how far out they can move the guy wire
Okay.
and still support that pole.
Yeah.
And they said they couldn't get it out far enough to get us around it. So that was the problem.
I don't know. I mean, a little jagging, would that seem to disrupt the trail any, Sandra, if you just jag around it?
If it goes around it, you're much closer to the road. But
That's if they go to the roadside, don't go to the
Yeah.
roadside.
Yeah, if you're on the other side of it and you cut it a little shorter, I think that makes more sense than going around.
Yeah. And it could be trails that have curves to it are typically interesting. So, it gives us an opportunity to do some planning there, or if we get a look at it, we can come up with a great plan, I'm sure, with
Yeah,
all.
I think that was already in the plan to avoid the hole anyway in the first.
Yeah, I don't know why they surveyed it right past the guy wire. They had to have seen the guy wire there.
I don't know.
All right, so that's on your plate then. We'll go take a look at it, maybe.
They give it a little character, just not just a straight shot, I would think. I don't think
Yeah,
it'd be,
it curves anyway, but it's a difference between being right by the road and
Right.
being on the other side of the pole and not avoiding it completely.
Yeah, and the only thing between that and that, there's nothing between that and the helicopter pad. So we got a lot of room to
Yep.
play with. Okay.
Just a real quick thing, you can't go to the roadside with anything because
Right.
that's in the road right of way. So you have to stay off the road right of way regardless. So the only way to go is north of the pole, so.
Right. Okay.
do we make that discussion or that?
I don't think we need a motion. I think it's just, we just
tell them
understand
where
that,
to- Yeah,
that it's gonna be jogged a little bit.
yeah. Okay, then tell, yeah, we'll tell them just to move it around a little bit. Enough
Right.
to, yeah, not a problem.
I know Rob is keeping us updated on any day that construction work is going on up here, so when we see them moving that way, especially when they're going towards that pole, we'll definitely need to be involved in that.
Well, that was yesterday. He was over there by that pole grading down along 126, down to the lower thing where we have to put that culvert in. I haven't walked back there to see exactly what he did, but he was around that general area yesterday. I haven't walked over there to see what he did right by the pole.
Is the pole still standing?
Pole's still standing.
All right.
But
Maybe we should be okay.
I haven't walked to see if he went around it or went underneath of it or whatever. I hope he didn't go underneath of it,
I don't think,
but
don't
he
know.
was in that general area yesterday when
okay.
he,
We'll take a
he
look.
was only there a part of the day. He wasn't there the whole day, so.
Okay.
If you see him before if we're not out there, you tell him, of course,
Well,
yeah.
I called Jeff as soon as I seen him start up yesterday and said he just started up, so,
Okay,
so.
okay. Any other discussion? Yep.
Connie Reinhardt, 6824 Cincinnati Brookville Road, Okeana. Let's get back to the topic that this meeting was called for. From the discussion that I saw yesterday and the comments on Facebook, all of us in the community, or most of us, are concerned about the money that's being kind of thrown away or thrown at this. And it's like the other gentleman said, we don't know for sure how much this is really going to cost. There's a whole lot more involved than just putting down the blacktop. And what about liability? Is our insurance going to cover the liability for a pickleball court without a huge increase? Has anyone considered that? Then there's, and like I said, the maintenance. We're all concerned that there's not going to be enough money to even finish the walking trail. You haven't allowed for any overages, which almost always happens on any construction job. If we keep throwing money at other projects, will we be able to finish the trail, which is what the majority of the residents of the township want per the surveys that were done 2 years ago. So instead of looking for more projects to do, I think the residents feel like we should concentrate on finishing this trail, get the playground done, and make sure we've got all the monies we need to finish that before we start looking at other things. And I think most of the people in the audience agree with me. And that's why we're here. We're not here, and I'm not against a pickleball court. I'm not against the park or the trail. But we need to watch our money. We don't know what next year brings as far as the monies for townships and other governments. I know that you've got to watch every penny. And it just seems foolish to me and irresponsible to just keep throwing money away when we don't know for sure we've got enough to finish what we've started.
I think the pickleball court's off the table. So, any other comments?
Well, you gotta think, this guy is so much cheaper, Connie. There's no way we're throwing money away. People want the park. I want the park. I want the park. I lived there my whole life. Never thought this would happen. And it is happening, and I'm tickled to death. I don't want to see us come up here downgrading this, overspending for something that, this is the best thing I think it's happened in Morgan Township. since the fire department. So, and other communities have these parks, and I'm sure they spend a lot more than us. And this guy was so much cheaper, because he's a neighbor. He's a,
No, why was he so much cheaper? As Sandy said, why is there not a silt fence back there? That was in the bid package. Where is the silt fence to take care of all this ground that he's excavating? There's a reason he was so much cheaper, and it wasn't because he's a neighbor.
what was it?
Well, I don't know
Maybe
why,
because
I
he's a
didn't
concerned,
get to see
he's a
all the
concerned
drawings.
citizen that lives in this township. And he wants to do what's right. He's right down the road. You know, I got confidence in him. You shaking your head, no, but, you know, I'm sure if he was here, I wish he was here, as a matter of fact, to explain it to you people. He does live here. He's gonna be answered to since he lives here, yes. So, yeah, I mean,
If you get bids on stuff and that, they should have everything that they're doing in that offer or whatever they're giving to you, specifying where's the soap bed, where are you putting this, where are you putting that, everything should be in writing. Because whatever is not in writing, you cannot hold him liable for.
yeah.
My son works on a lot of stuff. I wish he was here because he would have really been good for you guys. Because he deals in all this stuff with land and doing this and doing.
Yeah, we'll deal with it. Yeah, I'm confident we can deal with
But
it.
you probably don't have that in writing.
Yeah.
Where's the, what
Well.
you saying, was the soap bed? Yeah. Did they specify where they put the soap bed that needed to be put? No. So you don't know. You don't even know if it's there. So you're taking his word. No, it's gotta be in writing or you don't give no claim against him to make sure he puts it.
Would you want to come up and address, so people can hear your comments?
I think they heard me.
Well,
I speak loud.
well,
Because when I get rattled.
I mean, there's a lot of people watching online, so if you want to
Good.
really get that comment out, please come on up to the microphone.
Discussing anything but the court.
Okay, I'm Donna Metz. I live at 7608 Schraden Road. Now, you're saying nobody can answer where the silk bed is or where it is or nothing. You get comments and you get bids. When you get a bid, it's got to state everything in there that you want to know.
But
If
Donna,
they don't put it in there,
Right.
and then you go back on him, you say, it's not in the contract.
Right, Donna, I think this might help a little bit, because this is a bonded contractor, and he's going to
I
be
don't care
held-
what he is.
Okay, I
It's
know.
gotta be in writing.
But-
That's what
but
you guys
he-
are avoiding.
But he's going to be responsible for anything that happens out there, and if there's a failure on any part, he's legally responsible to make that correct
And then
with
if
the
they come
township.
back and say, well, there's no silk bed, well, where is it in the contract? My son deals in a lot of contracts.
Well, yeah, well,
He develops land and everything else. And he makes sure that everything is in that contract, because if it isn't so stated, you have no claims against that person.
well, when he comes back out, we'll double check on the silt fence to see if that's required, because right now.
And then the pickleball court net. Like Connie said, I agree with her 100%. Finish what you're doing.
Well, we do have our
Finish
hands
what you're
full.
doing. Don't throw another thing at us, because then you're gonna try and throw it on our taxes. And I think us people save enough with taxes.
We do have our hands full with what we've got already, so we're not looking for any other
Okay, what
jobs
about
to
the
put on
pickleball
top.
thing you're pushing?
Well, it's off the table. It's been
Okay.
dismissed.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Donna.
Anything else? Anybody else?
You guys got something to say, speak up.
All right, if nothing else good, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Mr. Huff?
Yes.
Mr. Brooker?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Motion to,
Motion approved.
yeah.